Camera one, rolling.
Okay.
Action. All of my inspiration came from like Hugh Grant movies, like, you know, all of the like Notting Hill, Bridget Jones' Diary. So I thought it was gonna be like a Bridget Jones situation, like comedy and like kind of like all of the touristy American kind of sides of London. And I came here and like some of it was like that, but a lot of it was, I think, better because it was more real life, right? And I feel like all of that stuff is in a movie, obviously, so it's like fake. But having kind of these sad moments, but also good moments, made my experience so much better than what I thought it would be. Because you really feel like you're a part of the city, right? You're not just a tourist, right? It's not just all the good moments. I think it affected me, like, the loneliness and isolation kind of by the distance, so how far I was traveling. So getting used to kind of the time difference, time zones, knowing that I was so far away was the biggest kind of hurdle for me to jump, you know? But I think it works itself out. It took a while. It took a couple months to like kind of get acclimated and understand that there are people from different cultures. So like my backgrounds are different than other people's backgrounds. So like getting over that first thing about like, oh cool, you're from Germany. Oh cool, you're from Italy. And then going through all the questions you have about like where they're from and them asking questions about me, and then getting into like a real friendship, I think was kind of the best part. Because like getting to know people from different places, it's at its core completely different. I think I needed those moments of feeling very isolated to then turn back and be like, okay, yeah, friendships are actually really important and I really need them. And you know, you can't just go on your own and conquer everything on your own. Living in a city, especially London, when it's so big, is so draining. Like I do need to go back home sometimes just to kind of like recharge my batteries almost. And like it's weird because when you go back home you don't need that. Like growing up I never felt like I needed to go somewhere else to recharge. But I don't understand how people like from like born and raised in London can deal with it. I guess it's because they're used to it. But like with me it does affect. So yeah, I tend to put up a kind of a facade, like my city facade when I'm walking on the street where it's like, yeah, I'm from here, but also if someone needs help, I'll help them out. So it's kind of this weird thing of like putting up a mask to protect yourself, but also, I don't know, being yourself. So it's weird. You're acting, it feels like a lot of the time. Yeah. I have this coffee shop right down the street from me, and it's so great. Like it's really quiet and there's like maybe 2 people that go in there. I don't know how they're still operating because it's literally just me probably like ordering chai lattes. But that's nice. I can kind of escape from my home. But my home also is a great little place where I can just stay and be myself, and it's me, which I love. But yeah, there's a coffee shop that's great, and also, I mean, my friends' places, like, so their homes and apartments is really nice because it's them and we can kind of, it's the own little, like, I guess, getaway or sanctuary from the world or London. My worst, I think, moment was, not to get too deep, but I had a relationship and that ended here. So I think that was kind of sad. The first few months after was kind of like, because we spent a lot of time together. So after that, you don't have your like city buddy, right? And after that, it was kind of like, okay, so I have to kind of go through London by myself. Like I have my friends and that's great, but not having, it's weird being in a city with kind of a romantic relationship and then being in a city without a romantic relationship. Because a romantic relationship, totally like, you have your rose-colored glasses on, like everything is great, there's no litter on the sidewalk, it's like a musical, right? But without it, it's kind of paints your world a little differently. So I think what you do in your life, who you surround yourself with, makes you look at the world differently, 100%. I don't think it matters like what apartment you live in or what job you have or anything in the city. I think it matters with who you're with. And coming to London, there are so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And I think it's made me more kind of open to people. And I thought I was open before. I think that's the ignorance you have kind of coming into a city. You're like, oh, I know the world. I've seen movies, I'm fine. People should just live in a city for a year and see that everyone is just human. and everyone just wants the same thing. So like love and companionship and community. And I think that's the biggest life lesson I've learned living in a city.